Oh.
Hey, Coach, thanks for the time. I appreciate it. Wisconsin came into the game a really strong three-point shooting team.
Yeah.
And they came out, they looked
left really strong, too.
They came in the first quarter and kind of seemed like caught the defense off guard. Can you talk about that first quarter?
Yeah, no, they shot it really well, give them credit. And, we talked about this. We watched it on film, and I think until our players kind of saw it in person, I don't want to say they didn't believe it, but they didn't get a sense of how well they can shoot it. And so we certainly had to make some adjustments to kind of slow them down at the three-point line, but they shot it obviously very well.
And kind of in a trajectory of games where kind of slow starts to the game. Is that, again, you talked about maybe not expecting it, but not seeing it in action. Is that part of it, or is there any complacency you're seeing?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think today specifically it was just our sense of urgency at the three-point line really put us in a hole, it leaves us a little bit more vulnerable than I would like. And like I said, they are a very improved team from the last couple of years, and I think Robin and her staff have done an excellent job. And then specifically, Destiny Howe was great tonight. She played really, really well, and we didn't have any good answers for her. But I think the big picture is we've got to get a little closer to playing 40 minutes like we're capable of. But we did make some adjustments after kind of the first quarter and played better.
Coach Elsa had a double-double tonight. How do you think she's sort of, I guess, adjusted to this period without Kylie in the lineup?
Yeah, I think, each week and you see Elsa get a little bit more comfortable, and now she's starting to get into a situation where we kind of expect these type of things for her. And, that wasn't necessarily the case when the season started, but she's made a lot of progress. She's worked extremely hard. And, I think tonight was a good example of she kind of protected the basket and the rim. She rebounded and also had some really good baskets around the rim.
You guys had sort of a slow second quarter offensively, and then Jelani goes for 21 in the second half. Was that maybe a point of emphasis to sort of get her going a little bit offensively?
Yeah, she got a couple fouls in the first half. I thought that kind of got her out of her rhythm. But she came out at halftime. I thought she played great. She was very efficient scoring the ball in the second half, and also managed to get her teammates involved as well.
Coach, you mentioned Jelani had 2 fouls in the first quarter. I've asked Jelani about picking up those fouls, but how important has it been this season that she's been able to control that foul trouble?
Yeah, she's done better this year. And the thing that she plays so aggressively, she's going to get some fouls, but some of she got one tonight, 90 feet from the basket, and another one where she fouled a jump shooter. And, some of those are a little more controllable than others. And really what I just want her to focus on is just kind of getting rid of the ones that she can really control.
And when you're having a rough shooting night and 16% in the second quarter, how crucial are those forced turnovers in that defense to start getting the offense going?
Yeah, it is. When we're not shooting well, the one thing we can do is turn people over and get easy baskets in transition. And we weren't real efficient in the first half at they had 14 turnovers in the first half, and we didn't have a lot of points off turnovers. But I think we ended the game with 22 off turnovers, so it got better in the second half. But yes, when we're not shooting well, it is one way we can kind of generate offense by taking turnovers and turn them into points.
Kevin, you guys, like you mentioned earlier, were knotted up going into halftime. How important is it to have a player like Jelani Cambridge who can just explode in the second half and completely take it?
Yeah, I mean, she obviously is a special player, and we rely on her for quite a bit. And and I think she has a sense of maturity about her, in her sophomore year now. I mean, she's still a young player, but she's matured quite a bit. She felt very confident in herself heading into the second half and her ability to kind of lead us to a win like this.
And this was the third straight game where a team shot 40% or higher from 3. What have you seen from the perimeter defense over the past week or two? Yeah,
we were just really lackadaisical to start, especially. I mean, they were 6 out of 10 in the first half, 60%. And so that was kind of where it started. And so I just don't think we had the right mindset to start the game to really, challenge them at the three-point line to get them uncomfortable.
Coach, every player who saw the floor tonight scored. What does that say about the depth and balance of this group as you dig deeper into the Big Ten?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really important. Given our style, we need to play multiple people, and we need our bench to step up. And we didn't get a lot of bench points the last couple games, and so it was nice to see them step up and have a great night.
Hi. Obviously, you have a lot of great players, but what is it like to have such a reliable player like Jelani Cambridge on your team, especially with her night tonight?
Yeah, she's special, and we rely on her quite a bit. And obviously she scored a lot of points. And one of the things I think people don't even realize too is just our whole style. She's really good in our full court pressure. She's really good creating tempo on the offensive end. So not only is it her scoring, but just all the other little things she does. She's a great player and very important to us.
Against Iowa, Coach Elsa was kind of caught on offense, waiting for other guards to get open. She's staying at the top of the key a lot of the times throughout the game. Tonight, she looked a lot more aggressive, going to the basket a little bit more than usual. Was there any feedback after the game or adjustments made between you and Elsa, or the coaching staff and Elsa?
Yeah, definitely. We didn't have a very good day against Iowa. Obviously, we didn't play well, and we did make some adjustments. Part of it was kind of her, how she was playing, and if they weren't guarding her closely in the perimeter, how she could be effective. And I thought she made some great adjustments today to really impact the game on that end of the floor for us.
Then a quick question about Kitts. Didn't ask this a couple weeks ago. Yeah. Did she strain, or did she actually dislocate her shoulder?
I don't know what the technical aspects would have been, but I would still say day to day though. But she's getting closer. I talked to her today. She felt better than she's felt. This is the best day she's had so far. So I think we're getting close. I'd say probably still questionable for Sunday, but we're much closer than we were a couple of days ago.
And just with Kylie being injured, how do you feel like Ava's kind of taken to the starting position and continuing to be key on defense?
I think Ava's done a great job. She's a very intelligent player. She can shoot it. She can pass it. She makes a lot of great plays on offense. She's also really good in our press, and it changes our lineup because we have to play a little smaller. But I think Ava's really handled herself well so far.
The team forced a bunch of shot clock violations tonight. How much pride do you have in your team, defending the whole possession?
Yeah, it's really good, especially, coming off the press. If we can get matched up and really lock in the half court, it makes us hard to play against. And so, when we can get people deep in the shot clock and get the shot clock violations, or even just force tough shots at the end of the shot clock, it shows that we're locked in and we're executing on that end of the floor. But to take it a step further, that was a little bit of the frustrating thing tonight, is we had several shot clock violations, which means our defense was really good. And then we had too many possessions where we didn't look like we were locked in or focused. And so we've got to get more consistency, because we show what we're capable of doing, and we need to be able to do it for longer stretches.
Kevin, as you probably know, Nebraska is one of the most efficient shooting teams, not only in the Big Ten, but nationally. How important is it going to be to get off to a strong start against them, and what does that look like?
Yeah, we'll have to get off to a strong start, and our defense is going to have to be better than it was tonight, and closer to 40 minutes than it was tonight. And we've always had tough matchup with Nebraska. They're very skilled. They're very well coached. They run a lot of good offense, and so if you don't lock in and be aggressive and disrupt what they're trying to do, they get great shots and they make a high percentage.
Thank you, Coach.
Okay, thanks everybody.